Hi viewers, hello and welcome to Sansad Television. This is the news with me, Rashika. Here is a daily roundup of all that's happened across India and the world today. Let's begin with the headlines. Pravasi Bharti Divas celebrations to start in Indore from Sunday. Guyana President Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali to be the chief guest. Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate ceremony on Monday. President Murmu addresses Digital India Awards ceremony, asserts that primary goal of digital innovation should be social justice. Says digital technology has made it easier for government to reach remote areas. Bihar begins caste survey. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar claims survey will help state government in better implementation of welfare schemes for the socially and economically disadvantaged groups. Gateway to Badrinath, Joshimath on the brink of ecological disaster. Chief Minister Dhami visits ground zero, orders immediate relocation of affected families. And Kevin McCarthy elected Speaker of US House of Representatives. Election announced after 15th round of voting. A quick look at the latest news in our flash segment. Cold wave conditions to continue in North India for next few days. Schools shut in many Rajasthan districts till January 14th. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar inaugurates NCC Republic Day Camp 2023, applauds India's rise as global destination of opportunity and investment. Pradhan Mantri National Apprenticeship Mela on Monday in 242 districts. Local businesses, companies and organizations to take part. Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik and Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan flagged first regular flight from Bhubaneswar to Rourkela. Karnataka Chief Minister releases logo and mascot of National Youth Festival to be held from 12th to 16th of January. National Commission for Protection of Child Rights launches portal for rehabilitation of child victims of sexual abuse. Sugar production to touch 34.5 million tons in 2022-23, 3.63% less than a year ago. Minister of State for Culture Arjun Ram Meghwal inaugurates Astro-Tourism, a sky-gazing event at Delhi's India Gate. India and America have agreed on restoration of lasting peace in Ukraine, says Biden administration. 6-year-old class 1 student shoots at school teacher after argument in Virginia, USA. Read the news in detail. Indore will host the 17th Pravasi Bharti Divas celebrations on Sunday. President of Guyana, Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali, is the chief guest, while Suriname President Chandrika Prasad Santokhi is the special guest of honor at the event that will end on Tuesday. About 3,500 people from 70 countries will attend the event. They will include ministerial delegations from Mauritius, Malaysia and Panama and larger delegations from UAE, USA, Qatar and Oman. The theme of the 17th Pravasi Bhartiya Divas is Private India Participation in India's Progress in Amritkal. Youth and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur will inaugurate the Youth Pravasi Divas celebration on Sunday with a special address by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate the proceedings on Monday. President Draupadi Murmu will confer Pravasi Bhartiya Samman to 27 people for their outstanding contribution in their respective fields on Tuesday. Ahead of the Pravasi Bharti Convention in Indore, our correspondent Akhilesh Suman spoke to Professor Himanshu Rai, the director of IIM Indore, on why the city has been chosen as a destination for this mega event. Let's hear it.
The city of Indore is blessed with IIM and IIT both. There is no city in the country which is blessed with these two icons. And Pravasi Bharti Sammelan is taking place in Indore. And here with me is Professor Himanshu Rai, who is the director of IIM Indore. Professor Rai, What is the reason that Government of India has chosen Indore as the Pravasi Bharti Sammelan place?
So there are multiple reasons.
Yeah.
I think the first reason is that everyone in the world now knows Indore, basically for two reasons. One is that it has been the cleanest city of India 6 years in a row, and that's not a mean achievement. And the second is that the waste management system and the entire concept of taking waste to wealth, converting waste to wealth, has actually been perfected by the city of Indore. So I think that's a primary reason. The second reason is, like you already said, that we have both an IIT and an IIM, and I'm sure you know that IIM Indore has the Triple Crown accreditation of AMBA, AACSP and EQUIS, and therefore the entire world knows about IIM Indore. And the third reason is that Indore has that infrastructure both in terms of academic capability, skill capability, as well as resources, which actually makes it a very good destination for people to come in. For example, the entire state of Madhya Pradesh has tremendous amount of land parcels, and it does not have a population that goes with it, which means that we have land parcels to spare, and therefore industries can be established over here.
At the convention center of Pravasi Bhartiya Sammelan, our correspondent Akhilesh Suman also spoke to some students and teachers who have come from UAE to take part in the Youth Pravasi Bhartiya Sammelan tomorrow.
Sansad television team is here in Indore at the brilliant convention center to cover the Pravasi Bhartiya Sammelan. The Sammelan is going to take place between 8 and 10 January this year, and it is very important to say that the delegates numbering more than 3,500 are coming here. And here with me are some students who have come from UAE, and they are also very interested in taking part in Pravasi Bharti. What brings you here?
Well, our school has, given us an amazing opportunity, and it's an opportunity for us to learn about India and whatever we have missed, and, we're excited for that. So,
What do you want to feel from here?
So we want to learn a lot of things, that how living outside and how can we help our country, our motherland, and want to know more inspirations from PM and the foreign minister.
What do you want from here?
What do I want from here? I want to know how, as a youth, a future youth of India, how I can put my skills and resources into the Indian economy and the India's development. I think that is, which is very important for India.
That's amazing. At this stage you are thinking about India. So when you grow up more, how will you connect with India?
Maybe giving back to our roots, yeah.
Okay. And what you want?
Once I grow up, I will come back and I will give back to where my motherland has given me life, and now I want to give back to it.
So this is an amazing opportunity for these students who are still studying, but they are feeling that once they grow up, they will contribute to India's development. And that's the success of Pravasi Bharti Convention. Akhilesh Suman with camera person Kawaljit in Indore at Brilliant Convention Center.
In more news, India's economy can become knowledge-based only when digital technology reaches every corner of the country. President Draupadi Murmu made these remarks while presenting the Digital India Awards in Delhi. She said that the pace of change in future will be faster and technology will be driving it. The president pointed out that in such an eventuality, the main goal of digital innovation should be social justice. She added that digital technology has made it easier for the government to reach remote areas. The president also expressed confidence that India is setting the right example of including the weaker and marginalized sections of the society in the development process. She added that the government is empowering economic, social and cultural rights in the direction of digital Antyodaya.
Social justice should be the prime objective of digital innovations. India will develop into a knowledge economy only when the digital divide is substantially bridged through use of technology. I am confident that India is setting the right example of ensuring the inclusion of vulnerable and marginalized sections of society, strengthening economic, social and cultural rights in our journey towards digital Antyodaya. Ladies and gentlemen, digital technologies have enabled the government to reach the remotest parts of the country at the click of a button. India's story of digital transformation is a story of innovation, implication, and inclusion. This is a need to create collaborative platforms to find innovative solutions to make the world a more accessible and equitable place.
The Digital India Awards are presented in 7 categories. The awards are an attempt to inspire and encourage government organizations as well as startups and grassroots to take up digital initiatives. The Digital India program is envisaged at transforming India into digitally empowered society and knowledge-based economy. Joshimath, the gateway to famous places like Badrinath, Hemkund Sahib and the international skiing resort of Oli, is on the brink of a natural calamity with hundreds of houses reporting cracks. Residents say that the city is slowly crumbling and its houses, roads and fields are showing huge cracks. On Saturday, Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami inspected the affected areas in Joshimath and families living there. He ordered the immediate relocation of 600 families living in the risk areas. The Chief Minister also met a team of officials and experts who are monitoring the situation in the city. A temple collapse in Joshimath has left the residents in a state of panic. They say that the huge cracks started appearing in the walls of their homes nearly a year ago. Joshimath is known as the Tapobhumi of Adi Guru Shankaracharya.
हमारा प्रयास सबसे पहले तो यही है कि सभी को सुरक्षित किया जाए, सबकी जान माल की सुरक्षा की जाए और जो ज़रूरी जो इंतज़ाम है वो करने के लिए हम लोग सभी प्रकार की तैयारी कर रहे हैं। लोगों को सुरक्षित स्थानों पर ले जाने का हमारा सबसे पहला टास्क है, उस काम को कर रहे हैं। बाकी चूँकि वैज्ञानिक भी जो है इसमें काम कर रहे हैं।
The Nitish Kumar government in Bihar started its caste survey in the state on Saturday. The first phase of the survey will collect the caste-related data along with the economic status of each family. Census workers will also interact with Bihar citizens living outside the state. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said that the caste survey will help in understanding what measures are required to be taken for the uplift of the deprived sections. In the first phase, all families of the state will be counted. In the second phase in April, data will be collected on people living in households, their caste, subcaste and social and economic status. The caste survey will end on May 31st. Services of about 5 lakh personnel will be taken for the survey. The state government is spending 500 crore rupees for the survey from the contingency fund.
हम लोगों के पास सही साइंटिफिक डेटा होगा तो हम लोग उसी हिसाब से बजट का स्वरूप बनेगा, उसी हिसाब से कल्याणकारी योजनाएं बनेंगी। जो लोग आर्थिक रूप से कमज़ोर है, जो लोग गरीब है, कहाँ हमको कौन से सेक्शन को आगे लेकर चलना है, ये सारा आंकड़े जो है वो सबके सामने आ जाएंगे।
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar inaugurated the NCC Republic Day Camp 2023 in New Delhi on Saturday. In his address on the occasion, the Vice President said that India is on the rise as never before. He added that the country, which is now become the global destination of opportunity and investment, is now the 5th largest economy in the world. The Vice President asserted that India turned the challenge of the COVID pandemic into an opportunity to become Atmanirbhar in the production and development of medicines, vaccines and equipment. He also said India has even overtaken Japan to become the 3rd largest automotive market in the world. On the NCC, Vice President Dhankar said that over the years, the organization has created a truly vibrant and diverse cadre of motivated and disciplined youth who are doing excellent work in all walks of life.
For the NCC, the world's largest youth organization, and particularly for you all, performing in Amrit Kal at Kartavya Path will be a moment to ever cherish. Greatly appreciate laudable contribution of the NCC to nation building by inculcating character, comradeship and the spirit of selfless service among our youth human resource. Seeing your beaming confidence and smart turnout, I am reminded of my days as NCC cadet at Sainik School Chittorgarh. I have very fond memories of those days. It was a learning that has shaped me till date.
Senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah addressed a public meeting in Chaibasa, Jharkhand on Saturday. Hitting out at the JMM government, he alleged that the ruling dispensation was against development and the interest of tribals, with corruption reaching its peak. Amit Shah pointed out that the earlier BJP government had initiated many development works in the fields of education, roads and electricity. He alleged that the Hemant Soren government replaced these initiatives with corruption. Instead of protecting tribal women, Amit Shah, he alleged that the state government is indulging in vote bank politics. Later, Home Minister Amit Shah also addressed party workers and a public meeting in Korba town of Chhattisgarh. He said that the Congress talks about the backward classes but does not give anything to them. The Home Minister said that it is the central government's aim to make the country free from Naxalism before the 2024 general elections.
पिछड़ा वर्ग में नीट की परीक्षा में आरक्षण की व्यवस्था करी, नवोदय विद्यालय, केंद्रीय विद्यालय और सैनिक स्कूलों में पिछड़ा वर्ग के लिए 27% आरक्षण की व्यवस्था की, पिछड़ा वर्ग के उद्योगपतियों के लिए वेंचर कैपिटल फंड की रचना की और मैट्रिक और पूर्व छात्रवृत्ति के लिए 44,500 रुपये का वजीफा देने का काम भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने किया था.
Time now for a short break in the bulletin. Be back for more international news stories. Welcome back to the news. Let's now take a look at the updates from the Russia-Ukraine war front. In today's news from the battlefield, Ukrainian army officials said on Saturday morning that over the last 24 hours, Russian forces carried out a missile strike and 20 attacks from rocket salvo systems. They said the Russian forces are concentrating their efforts on establishing control over the eastern Donetsk province, conducting offensive operations around the embattled city of Bakhmut. The White House on Friday announced a new $3.75 billion military assistance package to help Ukraine and its neighbors on NATO's eastern flank. The latest tranche will include for the first time Bradley armored vehicles for Ukraine. The armored carrier transports troops to combat and is known as a tank killer because of the anti-tank missile it can fire. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with US Senators Jack Reed and Angus King in the capital Kyiv on Friday. He reportedly thanked the US for its new $3.75 billion military assistance package to help Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin attended an Orthodox Christmas Eve service at the Annunciation Cathedral in Moscow. The footage of Putin at the service was aired by Russian broadcaster Channel 1 on Saturday. A day earlier, the Patriarch Kirill of Moscow called for a 36-hour ceasefire in Ukraine, which President Vladimir Putin agreed to, but the Ukrainian officials spurned as an attempt to allow Russian forces to regroup. Meanwhile, President Zelensky said Ukrainian people are united as never before during his holiday address on Friday, the eve of Orthodox Christmas. The Orthodox churches still use the old Julian calendar that has been superseded elsewhere by the Gregorian calendar introduced in 1582. As a result of the difference, the Eastern Orthodox churches celebrate Christmas 13 days later. In the Donetsk region, dozens of worshippers attended a service to mark Orthodox Christmas Eve. The service was held in the basement of the church. All the windows around the church were protected with sandbags. The service was held amid an uneasy calm after a Russian ceasefire declaration for Orthodox Christmas went into effect. Moving on to some other developments from across the globe. Republican Kevin McCarthy was sworn in as Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives following a historic post-midnight election on a 15th ballot. The California Republican took the oath of office and was then finally able to swear in newly elected lawmakers who had been waiting all week for the chamber to formally open and the 2023-24 session to begin. Here are further details.
Republican Kevin McCarthy was finally elected Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives early on Saturday. U.S. House Clerk Gerald Johnson announced McCarthy's election. McCarthy sealed the deal in the 15th ballot that brought to an end the deepest congressional dysfunction in 160 years. McCarthy won on a margin of 216 to 211. He was elected with the votes of fewer than half the House members, only because 5 in his own party withheld their votes. As the House resumed for the late-night session, McCarthy was on the cusp of victory in the 14th round, but he fell 1 vote short. He went to the back of the chamber to confront Representatives Matt Gaetz and other holdouts. Fingers were pointed and words exchanged. The Republicans quickly moved to adjourn, but then McCarthy rushed forward to switch his vote to remain in session. The few Republican holdouts began voting present, as well as dropping the tally he needed to finally seize the gavel. Electing a speaker is normally an easy task for a party that has just won majority control. But not this time. About 200 Republicans were stymied by 20 of their far-right colleagues who said that McCarthy was not conservative enough. McCarthy finally won after he agreed to many of his detractors' demands, including the reinstatement of a long-standing House rule that would allow any single member to call a vote to oust him from office. Initially, McCarthy resisted allowing return to the rule that former Speaker Nancy Pelosi had done away with. But in the end, it appears he had no other choice. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Flying cars and self-driving vehicles always get attention at the CES Gadget Show in Las Vegas. But this year, electric recreational boats are making bigger waves. Let's take a look.
Swedish company Candela on Thursday unveiled a 28-foot electric-powered hydrofoil speedboat that can cruise for over 2 hours at 20 knots, or about 23 miles per hour. The Stockholm-based startup is also scaling up its workforce from 60 employees a year ago to about 400 later this year to ramp up production. Meanwhile, California startup Naviar tried to undo its Scandinavian rival by bringing an electric hydrofoil that's a little bit longer. A chief reason for arrival of electric boats is environmental as well as to save on rising fuel costs. But electric-powered boats, particularly with sleek falling designs that lift the hull above the water's surface at higher speeds, can also offer a smoother and quieter ride.
The planet is at risk, and you are seeing electrification on the land, in the air. You cannot leave behind 70% of the world, that is the ocean and the marine, right? And that's a big contribution to the carbon emissions too. So, you have to go clean, you have to go electric.
Both Candela and Naviar are also planning for a market of electric ferries that could compete with gas-powered vehicles that now carry commuters around populated regions like Stockholm Archipelago or along the San Francisco Bay. For a city like Stockholm, which has already electrified most of its public ground transportation, its dozens of large ferry boats are on outlier in producing carbon emissions. CES 2023, formerly the Consumer Electronics Show, opened in Las Vegas, US on January 5th. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Now time for all the developments from the world of sports. In the 30-20 series decider at Rajkot, Team India sets a massive target of 229 runs to win in 20 overs for Sri Lanka. Kumar Yadav remains unbeaten with 112 runs in just 51 balls. BCCI announces new selection committee. Chetan Sharma retained as the chairman. Shiv Sundar Das, Subroto Banerjee, Salil Ankola and Sridharan Sharath are other members. Cricketer Rishabh Pant undergoes successful knee surgery at private hospital in Mumbai. Doctors say he's recovering fast under medical supervision. Athletics Federation of India announces 26-member Indian contingent for 10th Asian Indoor Athletics Championships in Astana, Kazakhstan from February 10th. Team to have 13 athletes each in the men and women categories. Veteran Indian tennis player Sania Mirza to announce retirement at next month's WTA 1000 event in Dubai. India's top-seeded player for almost 2 decades, Sania won 6 doubles major titles and the 2010 Commonwealth Games silver medal in women's singles. It's a wrap of today's bulletin. Keep watching Sansad TV for all the latest and news updates. Good night.